And we're back. I'm Michael. That's Leroy.
I'm trying to
Are
get the
you
pose.
are you
The
holding a
Obi
lightsaber?
the
What are you
Obi
doing?
Wan pose. You know he does the Obi Wan pose.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe.
Have you
I
not
don't.
seen the memes?
I don't really be on social media like that, sir.
I need you to pay attention, sir.
Nah, man. Social media is
I'm
too
giving you great.
toxic sometimes.
I'm giving you grade A Twitter material.
I don't be on Twitter like that, so that don't mean anything to me either.
You sound old.
I mean, that's fine. Great. I'll be old in my house watching Obi Wan. I'll be old like an old hermit Obi Wan watching over kids
I'll be
on a
there.
planet.
I'll be there.
But yeah, if you couldn't tell from our rambling, this is the We Trying channel here on YouTube. Um, you
The
may have
struggle,
no
the
the
struggle
struggle
bus of
bus.
YouTube creators.
Yeah, you may have seen us in our previous channel, News 19 Nerds. We struck it on our own. We're doing our own thing, and we are continuing to bring you the same videos. This time, we're talking about Obi Wan, 6 episode miniseries or limited series, um,
AKA Ben Kenobi.
aka Ben Kenobi, set between the events of what is it set between the events of?
It's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
So between 3 and 4, somewhere up in there.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
So I mean, non-spoilers out of the way. What did we like the show? Did we hate the show?
I mean,
Would you want another season?
first of all, you already know where I stand. You are out of the two of us. You are the person who's very critical of the Star Wars prequels, and I would say this would count towards a prequel story.
Wait. Hold on. This is another conversation. You're not critical of the prequels?
I I'm critical of the prequels for different reasons that you are.
So
Re-
what are you
So
talking
okay,
about?
so I enjoyed Obi Wan. I was excited for Obi Wan. I liked Obi Wan. You
Hmm.
were are the opposite. You were like if it could you could have taken or leave it. It didn't have to be made. You are on the record of saying you really don't too particularly care for Hayden Christensen. You feel like he has had enough opportunities to show us what he has, and you feel
Hmm.
like that he's not very good. And I'm
Hmm.
on the other end of the spectrum of saying that the prequels had its problems and its faults, but for the time that it came out, it had some good things, it had some bad things. And I
There
consider
were
this.
good people on both sides, is what you're saying?
No, don't you do that. Don't you do
Oh,
that.
okay. Just asking.
I feel like that there were great moments in the prequels. I think Revenge of the Sith is the best out of the three.
Okay.
I like the prequel stories. I love one of my favorite characters comes out of the prequels or the prequel storyline, the Clone Wars, which is Ahsoka. Um, so I enjoyed it, but you were not. I don't want to say you weren't a fan. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you were ambivalent to this show, correct?
You mean like before it started?
Before it started and when it started.
Before it started, yeah, I really was like, okay. I'm excited that Ewan McGregor's coming back 'cause I like him as an actor. So sure, let's bring him in to do more stuff. I think that's
hmm
fine. Um, I, I I think I was on record saying I don't think there was a story that needed to be told. I don't know that I was like, oh, this is some cool stuff some behind the scenes stuff that I thought needed to get fleshed out. Um,
Okay.
After having seen the show, it was fine. But it was fine.
I
It was
love how
six
you.
episodes. It was fine. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this thing really tied up some loose ends to some stuff. If anything, I feel like it added some continuity errors that really didn't need to happen.
Well, we're going to circle back to that. So
Sure.
you do you believe your criticism or your ambivalence to this story being told was based on your, I don't want to say dislike because that's a strong word. And you're a journalist, you take that very seriously, the definition of words. Do you believe your take it or leave it attitude helped contribute to the fact that you were not excited as other people were for an Obi-Wan series?
Probably could have. Sure.
Okay.
It put it. I was already in a mind frame of I don't care about this.
Because you
Um,
because
I
your
will
bias
say I was pleasantly surprised having seen the first episode. I was like, oh, I like where they're going with this. I think this is cool.
because you you already had a bias against the prequels to say that these stories were not very good the way they were told, and I don't need to go back to that universe. You have already, and we both have said this, you would have rather Star Wars to take a different approach, leave the Skywalker family alone, leave the 60 years of,
Oh, I'm definitely tired of the
and
Skywalkers.
and
Yeah.
and let's go in another direction.
Hmm.
I will agree with you on that part, but I did enjoy the series. I really did, and I really enjoyed the finale. Um, it was, I will say this, it was predictable. You knew what beats were going to happen as they happened. I will say the beginning of the show struck me as, it caught me off guard. I warned you before you saw it that there was a warning about some, because some of the things that happened ties into current events that we
Hmm.
have going on in this country, and for some reason only this country. um, I like the show. I There were some liberties I would have went in a different direction, but overall I liked it, and I really appreciated everybody who was able to come back,
Hmm.
from Hayden Christensen to Obi Wan Kenobi, Jimmy Smits. Um, I really appreciated having those three people
I
come
like
back,
that you didn't say Ewan McGregor. You said Obi Wan Kenobi, but you named the other two as like they were people.
because Ewan McGregor will always be Obi Wan to me.
Okay, that's
I
cool.
like he will always be Obi Wan Kenobi to me. Like he's been in other stuff. I appreciate him. I know everybody knows him. Got, he showed up on the scene for Train Spotting, but I he grew up on screen for us as Obi Wan Kenobi.
Okay,
So
not the. I can't even make the jokes. I can't even think of the movie.
what
The one where he's a clone with. Doesn't even
what
matter
movie?
now. The
What
movie where
movie?
he's a clone. He finds out he's a clone with Black Widow.
What movie is that?
I guess we're gonna Google it now. Let's see. I
Usually I know my sci-fi, but you have brought up a movie.
think it's a
Oh, The
Michael Bay
Island.
film.
The
Yeah, there we
Island.
go.
Yeah.
The Island.
Oh,
Yep. See,
I love
there we
The
go.
Island. I
You would
love
like
The
the
Island.
Island. You would.
Why is that a knock against? What did I do to you
I
that
don't
you
know something.
that you disparage my movie choices? I do like The Island,
There's a
I,
malice in your eyes that I don't like.
sir. I'm I'm happy. I'm in a
Hmm.
good place.
Hmm.
I have my two bottles. Um,
Sure.
I enjoyed Obi Wan. Um, one thing I will address that I really appreciated, without going into spoilers, the direction this show took up until a certain point.
Hmm.
Even though I understood they had to do that, I still liked where they went. So,
Okay.
but I will cede the floor to you. Go for you to say what you feel
I,
about this
I
show.
think the first episode really got me because I didn't expect it for that to be the general conceit of the show. I thought that was cool. I thought
Hmm.
they kind of kept it under wraps, and based on the trailers, I thought we were going to go one way, but we kind of went a different way. I thought that was cool. As the
Okay.
show went on, I enjoyed the dynamics and the bonds that Obi Wan forged with certain characters throughout the show.
Hmm.
Um, I do think as the show went on, though, I'm kind of like, well, if this happens, then parts of four doesn't make any sense. And again, I don't think this show ever completely contradicts what happens in four, but there are definitely conversations that happen in four, and you're like, yeah, they're definitely trying to retcon because somebody would talk like that based on what happened in the Obi Wan show.
We'll see. We'll see. I will agree to disagree on that because I see where you're going with that, but I feel like it's okay based on what happened. So I personally I would give this show a 4 out of 4, uh,
Four out of four, or 4 out of 5.
4 to 5 Inquisitors. It doesn't reach a 5 for me, but it's a definitely strong 4. It creeps. It's like a waveform. It creeps up to 4.5. It creeps up to 4.3. Then it drops to a 4 to a 3.9, but it stays in that general location. It's not good enough to be a 5. It's not the best Star Wars show that Disney has produced so far. I think it's leagues better than Boba Fett. I think it's not as good as The Mandalorian.
Mando.
I don't think it's as good as Mandalorian, and I don't think it's as good as maybe the final season of Clone Wars.
Okay.
Um, but I did enjoy it. I would appreciate a season two. I know the actors have said that they would like to have a season two. Those who are still around, however, Deborah Cho or Chow is Chow, Deborah Chow.
Don't know
Sorry,
how you pronounce your last name.
Deborah Chow has expressed a little apprehension to doing a season two because this is supposed to be just a limited series, like you said before, 6 episodes.
Yeah, I give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Ouch!
Lightsabers.
Ouch!
It was completely all right. Um,
Okay.
Maybe 2.75. Now I won't say a little average because I think all the actors in it were great.
Hmm.
Um, Hayden Christensen, I thought he was fine. I liked him. I didn't. I I think the biggest compliment I can give him is I kind of wish there was more of him in the show, like physically just being able to do stuff. I think that's pretty cool.
Are you coming over to
Um,
my side? Are
oh
you coming?
no, no. I mean,
What
he was still in Takers
what I'm saying is, are
and he
you
was
coming?
still in
Hold on,
Jump.
jumper.
Yeah, like no.
But are you coming over to my side that he was not given enough vehicles because you liked him in this, right?
Not giving enough vehicles. He was given a bunch of vehicles. What are you talking about?
Hold on. What you said was you would like to have seen more of him because
Hmm.
you liked what you saw, right?
Hmm.
That's you're coming over. What I'm saying is you're coming over to my side because I felt like given the right circumstances, you would appreciate Hayden Christensen more. That's how I feel. I
Oh,
feel like
sure. Yeah.
and
But I
and
mean, he was also in the same circumstances as other people in the Star Wars stuff, and I like what they did.
true, but I mean, there are some people who have been there are some people who are in things that are pretty good, and there are some people who are in stuff and you're like, ooh, you need to keep doing just one thing because that's what you're good at. Perfect example. Um Gal Gadot, Fast and the Furious and Wonder Woman. Stick with that. Because
I like that
Red,
comedy she was in.
Red Notice?
No, the one with I think John Hamm and Isla
Isla
Fisher, and
Fisher?
Zach Galifianakis.
What was that? What was the name of
I
that?
can't remember what it was called, but I thought she was fun in that.
Why are you bringing up movies and don't remember the names of them?
It's
Um,
fun for the audience to go find it out.
so the reason why I said is because Death on the Nile. Ooh,
Hmm.
ooh, Red Notice. Ooh, ugh. Wonder Woman 1984. Ooh,
Hmm.
I'm just like, and I feel like as a big star that she is, I feel like she I feel like she could have brought it better because her Wonder Woman, I would say her breakout role was pretty much perfection, and then everything since then has been kind of um I think Hayden Christensen, given more opportunities like this, can show us he is a good actor. I'm not saying great. I'm not going to say great. I'm going to say good. And I really enjoyed seeing him back, especially the way we saw him.
Okay. You ready for these spoilers?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's change the background so we know we're in spoiler territory. Um, so yeah, where you want to start?
I really appreciated the fake out. All the trailers we saw was Obi-Wan watching Luke Skywalker. That was a
Sure.
story that Disney promised from the trailers, what they talked about, and that is not what they gave us. And I appreciated that. I appreciated getting off that dust ball.
Hmm.
I appreciated the first episode showing us a different side of the Star Wars universe, showing us different characters, the world after the Empire took over, after the
When you say a different side, what side?
you got to see more of like what life is like outside of Tatooine, and you got to see what Alderaan was like a little bit. You got to see the royalty of Alderaan and how they interacted. How and I mean, spoilers. We've already said it. You got to see young Leia and how she was adjusting to life as an adopted princess, as an adopted child who's raised as a princess in a family that has obligations.
Hey,
And
explain to me why is she a princess? I'm not even trying to make a joke. Like, literally, why is she a princess? Because Jimmy Smith was just a senator, but he wasn't a king, right?
We
So
don't, but
why is she
we
a
don't
princess?
we don't know what Jimmy Smith's lineage was. In other words, we always hear that he's a senator, right? And then Leia becomes a senator as well.
Uh huh.
Um, but remember, um, what's her name? Is it Amidala?
Queen Amidala.
Yes. Remember,
Oh, okay,
remember
fair
she
enough.
was, and so now I'm.
But
Hold on. I'm not saying that follows the same. That they're saying that she's a princess because her mom was a queen or whatever. What I'm saying is her mom was a senator and she was able to keep her title, but they still always referred to her as senator, even though she was a princess. So Jimmy Smith may be royalty, but they always referred to him as senator, just like everyone else referred to Amidala as senator, and only people chided her, like Obi Wan when he called her princess,
hmm,
because he knew her before then. That's what I'm thinking. Now I
okay.
haven't heard any
People in the
confirmation.
people in the Star Wars lore, let us know.
I haven't heard any
I will
confirmation.
definitely claim ignorance. Please let me know.
I haven't heard that from anywhere. John Favreau is not calling me anymore. Um, he's not.
Anymore, y'all had a falling out.
Well, I called him once, and it was kind of like, remember that scene in the League where old boy got Terry Bradshaw's phone number, and he was like, delete
Oh
this
yeah,
number. Yeah, it was kind of
yeah.
like that.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was Uncle
Um,
Pete.
yeah. So it was
Uncle
great
Uncle
that
Pete died.
the. Let me look up these people's names so I can.
Who you want to talk about? Who do you want to start with?
Who's Leia?
Leia is played by Vivian Lyra Blair.
Okay, I
Okay,
think she did a good job. I
really?
liked her. Yeah, I think she
Okay.
was fine. What I don't like about it is anytime there was a chase scene, I don't understand how these people that were 3 or 4 times her size couldn't catch her. It didn't look good. It kind of reminded me of the old, and again, I haven't seen the movies, but I can see trailers, and I know the old Child's Play movies when people were running from Chucky and scared of
Mhm.
Chucky. And I don't understand how she's running through the forest area or running in the back alleyways of some dirty planet, and people can't catch this little girl.
Here's what I will say. I thought she did a phenomenal job.
Okay.
When I saw her, this precocious 10-year-old was, in my opinion, one of the breakout stars of this show. I enjoyed every second she was on screen. Even when she got on my nerves, I enjoyed her presence. Um, I hope that she goes on. I hope that this is the next uh, Chloe Martz, whatever,
Chloe
Dakota,
Grace Moretz.
whatever, Dakota Fanning, Millie Bobby Brown, uh, Marseille Martin. You name these kids who started as female child actors, and have blossomed into very powerful, sophisticated young women. Yara Shahidi, um, hell, Natalie Portman started off as a child actress in The Professional, Leon the Professional. So I hope this is the career path for her because I really enjoy her presence. With that being said, I don't know how many children you've tried to catch. Um,
I have 4 nieces and nephews. I'm able to catch them.
um, my son, who is 2, I'm able to catch him, but he is elusive. And at 2, he has developed a spin move that I believe he must have gotten this from being a child in the womb,
Hmm.
listening to me play PlayStation, because he hits an X button when you reach for him
Hmm.
that I did not teach him this. I don't believe I inherently have this DNA in me,
Hmm.
uh, but he's gone. And you
Sounds to
have,
me like you need to step your dad game up.
I've caught
My
him
dad
several.
game is impeccable.
I mean, it should be. You've been one for a while.
There we go. And I catch all the kids.
I'm gonna need you to edit that part out. uh,
Let's see who's listening.
what I will say is I enjoyed that little part, and I think what we have to remember is Star Wars is supposed to be for everybody, for kids and adults. And I think that part was for the build up. If you're watching it with a young child, was for kids. This little girl getting away from these bad people. One, she knew the terrain, so she was a little bit more adept to doing that. Because if you're not used to chasing people in the forest and you're used to chasing kids in the city, there is a difference. Um, Learn that the hard way. So did my son. Because on a flat surface, I got him. But we get
Uh-huh.
outside.
Okay.
So that was just me. But I
Hmm.
really enjoyed her presence. I enjoyed going that route, building that bond with Ben and Leia, because to me it makes more sense that she reached out in episode 4 for Ben Kenobi. She may not remember everything, and I understand you're talking about the conversations were a little stilted, but I it
You
to
just
me
told me in 6 episodes they built an incredible bond. You gonna tell me in episode 4 the way you asked for General Kenobi is like, you served my father? Nah, nigga, you served me. You
hold on,
saved my life.
hold on,
That's what
I
you say.
hold on.
What?
But this is the thing. You and I both saw the last episode, and what did he say? They cannot know about the bond between you and I because it's dangerous. So she had to say, "You served my father." And also, she admitted when Luke told her Ben is here, she was like, "Ben's here?" There was that familial bond in that that little moment right there. So that's where I'm going.
Okay.
I I appreciated the fact that she said, "General Kenobi, you served my father," because if these plans were intercepted, she could always have plausible deniability.
Deniability about what?
She could be like, "Look, I didn't know he was. Uh, I didn't, we didn't have this former relationship. He didn't save me. He was a dude that might help my dad out."
Okay, sure.
Because remember, she was playing dumb when Vader showed up. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know what
lasted
you're
for a
talking
few
about.
seconds too. He started choking out people and blowing up Alderaan.
She still didn't give him up. Remember, she gave out an old outpost. Go
Hmm.
back and watch when she was in that cell, and Tarkin was like, "Yo, kill her," because she said, remember when Tarkin said, "We'll get your rebel friends," she still didn't break.
Hmm.
Leia still didn't give up the goods. That's a
Great.
ride. That's a ride or die right there.
Ride or die. You gonna remember me? You served my dad. Okay, sure,
I'm just saying.
sure. Okay. Um, to me, I mean, again, it's not like the show completely broke that. It's just it is a little weird
Okay.
that you're this close. To me, I think it's a little weird that you were this close. You because I agree. I fell for the bond. I enjoyed the bond, but
Mhm.
then it kind of makes me look at four weird. But that's a whole nother issue about going back and doing prequels and stuff. Is like how much
Mhm.
can you do while still fitting into the canon, which is a whole nother issue that we could do another episode about Star Wars and like move on and stop trying
Mhm.
to fit stuff in because you're just pigeonholing yourself and all that.
Because
So
now, because here's another thing: Star Wars doesn't just have this problem. The MCU is dealing with this problem right now. Go back and look at, uh, because my movie that basically it kind of proves your point a little bit. My problem with the MCU is going back and doing prequels to movies and relationships, and making it seem like, oh, you guys went this way with it. Black Widow. Black
mhm.
Widow's a prequel movie before Endgame, before Infinity War, that we got that's supposed to be sandwiched in between Endgame and Civil War. We didn't go back and go to the history between
Civil War
how.
and Infinity War.
Yeah, you're right, because
Yeah.
Endgame is here. Okay, yeah, but we go back to that little pocket, but we didn't need that. Like, they didn't give us anything other than set the stage
Hmm.
for Yelena, Elena, um,
Yelena.
Yelena.
Yeah.
But to me, we didn't need that, and to me, I would have rather seen the relationship between Black Widow and Clint. I would have rather seen Hawkeye, because remember, if you go back and watch Avengers, there's a clip of Carl. Um, uh, what's old boy's name from Shield, Agents of Shield? Colson. Colson
Clark
is
Gray.
watching. Yep, Clark Gray. There's a little snapshot of Colson watching, from Budapest, Black Widow and Hawkeye fighting. That's what I wanted to see. And then remember, in the Winter Soldier, we know Black Widow knew who the Winter Soldier was because when he slammed her to the ground, she was like, "You don't remember me? Why did we never get that?" So I get what you're saying. I agree with you on that point. It is hard to do prequels and making them fit in, which again makes the last season of Clone Wars even what they were able to pull off even better because
Hmm.
it fit.
Okay.
You were able to go back and do a prequel with the Clone Wars and fill in all these things that happened and still were able to come back and combine those seasons and tie up all these loose ends and why these things happened, and it worked. Two
Okay.
episodes we could have done without, but all in all, I think the final season of Clone Wars does a better job and proves your point when it comes to
Okay.
those type of things.
All right, going back to Obi Wan Kenobi, we talked about the bond between Obi Wan and
Mhm.
Leia. Any other characters that stood out to you? You talked about Hayden Christensen. I already talked about Hayden Christensen. Any other characters or actors you're like,
I
oh yeah,
I'll get to Hayden Christensen in a minute. However, two actors that I think that were I think elevated them. One actor I think elevated themselves. Another actor I was like, we didn't need you. Rupert Friend, why were you there? Like as Grand Inquisitor, you were there just to fill a space. Like if you watch Rebels, he is more menacing in Rebels. I feel like that character is more fleshed out in Rebels. There was no need for him. You could have
it's
done
almost
this.
like they checked off a box, like, hey, you're going to see the Grand Inquisitor, so tune in
Not
and
only
watch.
that, not only that, they checked off a box and it's a toy.
Hmm,
I feel like that was a toy. And because
hmm.
to me, there was no relationship between the Grand Inquisitor and Darth Vader.
Now, question: did you buy that
Mhm.
toy?
No, I've never bought any of the Inquisitors, but what I
Okay,
will do is buy Third Sister.
okay,
Reva's character. So Rupert Friend, and I love him in Homeland. He was awesome in Homeland. I liked him as Agent 47. However, comma, he there was no need for him to be in this show. Moses Ingram up here. I
okay.
loved her and I would like to see more of her and I want to see more morally ambiguous characters like that. I enjoyed everything about her in the sense of here's a person who was raised one way, circumstances you had to adapt, you had to survive. She became what she needed to become, but she
Hmm.
never forgot where she came from and her hatred grew from being left
It grew three
behind.
sizes that day. Yeah.
It did, and she's angry with everybody. And when you're angry, there's always some uh how do I say this nicely? There's always someone willing to take advantage of your anger and point you in the right direction. And
Sure.
the Empire was there to point her in the right direction and aimed her like a cannon, knowing her lineage, knowing where she came from, didn't care because they were able to use her to get what they wanted.
I do like in the show where she kind of thought she was going to have a drop on Darth Vader. He's like, I knew what you about the whole time. You think I don't know what the plan
Mhm.
is? I think that was cool. I think that was a cool moment for Darth Vader to be like, yeah, I'm in control of this. I've been watching you the whole time, even though you think you're getting one up on me. I thought that was cool.
I thought,
I
I,
don't know why. I don't know what's this deal with people with lightsabers stabbing somebody but not killing them and then leaving them to come back. That seems stupid. Both her with the Grand Inquisitor
Mhm.
and Darth Vader with her. Like, what are we doing?
Again, I go back to the memes. Qui Gon is probably out there like, bruh, how were they able to come back? But I got to be a Force ghost?
Also,
Hell,
I think people were
Darth
upset.
Maul was able to come back.
Yeah,
Darth Maul was cut in half and was able to get robot legs.
true, true. Um, I'm curious, and I think I've seen this again. I don't know Star Wars lore well enough, but
Mhm.
people were saying they were kind of upset because Qui Gon did come back as a Force ghost, but we never saw his body disappear. So, like,
Hmm.
how did he transition into the ancestral ethereal plane and become a Force ghost if his body never disappeared, like when we saw with Obi Wan and Yoda and all that other stuff?
I mean, it might just happen off camera. I don't
That's
know.
true. That's a good point. Good point.
But here's another thing. Anakin became a Force ghost, and his body didn't disappear either. They burned his ass like a Viking funeral.
But see, we know his body we know the body, the remains kind of became ashes.
But it didn't. So when Obi Wan was struck down by Darth Vader, he disappeared.
Mhm.
Yoda, because again, Luke just kept asking him questions, and Yoda was like, "I've lived 800 years. I don't have time for this shit. There's too many questions. I'm going. I'm out.
I'm gone.
I'm out." What I
Turn the
will
lights
say,
off in my swamp. Yeah,
what I will say is, I don't know what this show gave a lot of fan service.
sure.
Um, I feel like the Mandalorian gave a lot of fan service with Luke at the end, basically duplicating the Rogue One uh, hallway scene.
Hmm.
This gave a lot of fan service because we got to see the penultimate battle between Obi Wan Part Two versus Darth Vader. We
I
got
did
to
enjoy
see
that lightsaber fight.
Qui Gon's Force Ghost, which a lot of people were asking for. Um, we got to see uh, Ben Kenobi on Tatooine. We get to see maybe a little bit of what forced him off the planet because we know Obi Wan shows up in Rebels. We know Obi Wan actually finally ends Darth Maul once and for all in Rebels. So there was a lot of fan service. However, I like the introduction of new characters. Moses Ingram, to me, is a character I would like to see more of
Hmm.
because I want to see. Here's the problem: what I felt like the prequels had that Star Wars does a little bit that the expanded universe does a better job of. The morally ambiguous, because here's what the prequels did: this whole light versus dark, and you're
Hmm.
either a good guy or you're a bad guy. You and that whole if you do this, you're automatically a bad guy. If you do this, you're automatically a good guy. That's not how the world works. And I feel like Moses Ingram's character as third sister is a chance to show. And the one thing I loved about the show was the opportunity for redemption. When Ewan McGregor's character knelt down with third sister when she said, "I couldn't do it." And you know that girl was going through something when her braids came loose.
Hmm.
When her hair was messed up, you were like, "Oh,
This
baby
got
girl,
real.
baby girl, your edges." I was like, "Ooh, your space edges ain't, you know."
Not space edges.
I was like, that droid's got a
Oh,
lot of work ahead of him.
we gonna do hashtag space edges for sure. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. I love it.
All I was thinking of, there's a protocol droid out there who was like, "Oh, girl, them braids ain't tight no more." And when you saw Obi-Wan say, "What you do, your path going forward is up to you," everybody was like, "How could you forgive Darth Vader after he killed all these younglings, after everything he did?" That's what grace is. Grace
Hmm.
is forgiveness. And I felt that from Obi-Wan. I felt like he was able to look upon third sister and say, "Okay, let's see what you do with this the second chance." Now, granted, I wasn't cool with the fact that he just used her as a pawn.
He did.
I felt like he could have teamed up. But hey,
He
I
threw
was
her
like,
to
"Yo,
the wolf.
he threw her straight to the wolves," and I understand why he did it because as a military mind, because remember, sorry, for those of you who watched the Clone Wars, Obi Wan was a brilliant strategic commander when it came to certain things, where he would be like, "Look, we're trying to fight a war. We can't let certain things get in the way." And
Hmm.
Obi Wan, you saw Obi Wan, he was like, "Hey, I'm bringing them to you.
Hmm.
So do what you go do." You know,
Right.
um, I have really appreciated Third Sister. I appreciated the lore and the continuity between Jedi Fallen Order going back to that base, seeing Third Sister. To me, what was episode 4, the speeder episode, when you thought they got him
Hmm.
and they're all on the platform and the speeders show up, like I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like that was what I missed about Boba Fett to a certain extent. Like I missed that in Boba Fett. That whole you thought everything is dire and
Hmm.
they somehow pulled it out. It reminded me of that scene in Rogue One when Jen Ursa was like, "That's what rebellions are based on, hope. This idea that you're going to overcome these odds against everything and they do, but I miss that in some of the other Star Wars, and I appreciate it in this one.
Okay. Um, what did you think of the look of the show overall?
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought I was shot well. Um,
that
I
fight
finally
between
got I got a chance to really flex the muscle of my OLED TV or whatever, and that fight scene in terms of like lighting and the like, because OLED gives you like perfect blacks or whatever. That looked
mhm.
great. Seeing the blue light and the red light and everything, it looked really good. I really enjoyed that fight scene a lot.
The fight scene was one of the things a lot of people were looking
The
forward to.
second fight scene, that first fight scene was trash.
Oh, you think so? The one with the fire?
Yeah, yeah. This isn't my idea, but I totally agree with it. Does is Darth Vader afraid of fire now?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, because that fire wasn't that huge. You could step through.
Sir, have you ever been burned?
Nah, because I always have the high ground.
Um, no, I'm just saying, like in the kitchen. Like they said, it's hard to go back in the water.
Oh yeah, I've
So
been burned at a stove before. I'm
I'm
still
just saying
fat and love to eat because I cook.
we, we didn't need to know all of that. I'm just saying that's
Just saying.
all I'm saying is that that brother got his arms cut off, his legs cut off. He looked like a burnt up uh chicken wing left on the grill too long. He
Then
looked
if that's
bad.
the case, I feel like it wasn't shot well to at least to me to convey that maybe he might have a fear of fire because it
Okay.
seemed like a little fire broke out. He's like, I know I've been trying to kill you for a long time, but I'm gonna let it slide and maybe I'll catch you later.
I'll give you that. That some of the writing could have been a little better. I think the show was shot, the final episode where you see the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader and Anakin, and basically you see the death of Anakin, where you hear Luke in Revenge of the Jedi, where Luke is like, "There's still good in you," and Darth Vader's like, "No, there's not."
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Remember when they're
You said
when they're
Revenge of the Jedi, but okay,
Revenge of
got
the
it.
Jedi. Okay, sorry. I was thinking, sorry, got my Revenge Return.
Yeah,
Also, Return of the Jedi should have actually been called Revenge of the Jedi. Think about it. And Revenge of the Sith should have been
but
called Return of the.
Jedi don't have revenge. They
I
return.
understand that, but that's a conversation another day. I've always argued that point. Revenge of the Sith should have been called Return of the Sith, and Return of the Jedi should have been called Revenge of the Jedi. Anyway,
Hmm.
off track. That one conversation that Luke has with Darth Vader, and he's like, "There's still good in you, Father. I feel it." And Darth is like, "No, bitch, you don't." It's like it's
Hmm.
gone. That hatred, that anger that Hayden Christensen showed, when you see that slice of Darth Vader's helmet cut out, to me was everything.
Sure.
That was like the death nail in that coffin for Obi-Wan, where he was like, "You were my brother." When you remember Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan is pleading with him, "Don't do it. I have the high ground. I'm gonna whip your ass."
Hmm.
And Anakin is just so headstrong to like, "You can't beat me. I'm better than you. I saved your ass how many times?
Hmm.
You were asleep every time we fought some Sith Lord or whatever. I'm Anakin MF Skywalker." And that, like, to me, that final episode made everything worth it. Now, I have a problem with Indira Varma. I loved her character
Hmm.
showing Talia. Is that her name on the show?
Tala.
Tala.
Yeah.
Once again, killing a female character. I'm stop doing that. Like, stop killing female characters to motivate a male character. Stop it. Which is why I did not. I appreciated them not killing Moses Ingram,
Hmm.
but that scene with Obi Wan and Darth Vader when they're having the conversation, when Obi Wan could have killed him right then and there, and he didn't. He showed mercy. To me, that was everything. I really enjoyed that scene.
Uh, I didn't realize that was O'Shea Jackson the entire time.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, you and O'Shea Jackson could be related the way y'all look.
Great. I like. Is that O'Shea Jackson Jr.? Is
Because I
it?
was like,
No,
because
it's
at
not. Is
first,
it?
because
No,
at
I guess
first
it
when
was.
At first, when he was talking about his dead wife, I was like, man, put Michael in a Star Wars uniform. And I was like, that's him and
Right.
O'Shea could be the same person.
Kathleen Kennedy, you heard it. I will audition. I will audition in a
Kathleen
heartbeat.
Kennedy, friend of the show.
Yeah, that would be fine. And again, I kept thinking, but I wasn't sure, and then I wasn't. It wasn't confirmed until I saw the credits at the last episode. Like, oh, okay, that was him.
So you didn't see the casting before the show. You didn't realize he was casted in the show.
Like, no, again, because I didn't care about this show. I wasn't looking up for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
so I was
saw
like,
the
that was
casting,
cool.
and I was like, because we didn't see him to what, episode 3, 4.
Something like that. Yeah,
I was like, where is he?
yeah.
But
What
I
was I don't know what
first
was the character's name?
um he was, hold on, I got it right here. Broken.
Rogan. Okay,
Broken.
cool.
Because Obi-Wan at the end was like, hey, we need more people like you, which leads me to believe we may see him later on in maybe another show.
Could be.
I'm wondering, will we see him in the Andor show,
Hmm.
or maybe Ahsoka show? Because Ahsoka show may take place during Rebels time period, or maybe
Hmm.
after Rebels ends. I don't know. Um, I personally enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the relationship with the characters. However, my big beef with this show was Third Sister was an inquisitor. How you let two farmers
Beat
basically
your ass. Actually, not beat your ass, but at least like fight you to
stall
a
you?
stalemate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stall you. Like that was my biggest problem with this whole show, because I was like, you was taking out Jedi, and
Hmm.
you let Owen and Bera, whatever her name is.
I think
I'm
it's
like,
Bria
I don't care. She
or
was
Beru.
you know
Yeah,
what she
Beru.
was?
What?
She should have been a non-motherfucking factor. You know
Wow.
what she should
Okay.
have been? You know what should have happened to her? She should have been force pushed against the wall, knocked the fuck out. That whole situation between Owen, I was not a fan of that. Now I understand why they had to do it. I appreciated it. I appreciate Third Sister couldn't kill Luke. I appreciated her hate and her PTSD. However, I would have liked more for Third Sister to try to kill Leia
Okay.
instead of Luke. And then it would have been female versus female, woman up a woman, and her having to see the look in Leia's eyes, the same look she had when she
Hmm.
got stabbed by Anakin, and said, I cannot do this to another child. Not
I
the
mean, what
knocked
she
out
she
Luke.
she did do that
Mm-mm.
with Luke.
No, no, I don't. I don't give a shit about Luke.
I mean,
What I'm saying is I don't care about Luke. What I'm saying is you started this show you with Luke, and you subverted our expectations, giving us Leia. I appreciated that. Stick with that. This whole
mhm.
idea of going back to Tatooine, oh, Luke is there, you put it together. Nah, I would have rather them wrote and her cornered Leia after she tortured Leia, use Leia as a pump. Like that was what I wanted. That's my only problem with the show.
That little girl looks so weird in that tortured thing. Again, her being so small definitely hurt some of the scenes of like this looks weird. Like this torture chair clearly isn't meant for a 10-year old, and you look like you're just in a big fun
But
inflatable chair.
but here's the thing. I liked it because here's the thing. To me, it made more sense that she was a child, because it showed the gravity of that that they don't normally, the empire is willing to torture children. That I
Sure.
was like I was ready for them to go there. Now my
Sure.
thing was, I would have liked them to take it another step forward and having Third Sister trying to kill Leia. And I'm not trying to begrudge the actor who played Luke. I really enjoyed the character who played Leia. I really enjoyed that actress, and I would have rather seen her go forward and her cornered after everything this woman did to her. Kidnapped you from your home planet, basically sold you, used you as a pawn to bring out Obi Wan Kenobi. You ran from Obi Wan Kenobi as he tried to help you because you didn't like the way the answers he was giving you worked out. She took your droid, manipulated it, and then she was going to cut you down. That's what I wanted to see. And that terror that you saw on Leia's face is what I wanted. I didn't give, like, the whole time I didn't give a shit about Luke. Luke will be fine. We know. That's what I wanted. And that's my
Well, I
only
mean, by that logic, Leia's gonna be fine. We know.
what I'm saying is, We don't know. I would rather have seen this between Leia because it was another girl just like her, a
Hmm.
youngling just like her. Luke was not Luke. That
Yeah,
like, and then she's going like, I don't give a shit about him. He fine. Hold that thought.
there we go. As Leroy grabs his baby, um, this is a good time to remind you that we are a new channel. We trying to grow this channel and grow supporters. So please, if you can, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what's going on with this. Um,
Speaking of younglings,
yeah, help us grow this channel so that we can get advertisements, so Leroy can buy formula for his baby.
I got my youngling right here.
Yeah, there we go.
But no,
Uh,
that was my only problem with the show. My only problem with and the fact that I can't buy Third Sister on Amazon because I got some gift cards and I want to use them on Amazon and it's sold out.
there we go. Excuse me. There we go. What did I say? Like, comment, subscribe. Find us here on YouTube. I think you got anything else you want to add? I was trying to wrap up.
Like I said, I really enjoyed the show. Would you like to see a season two, and where would you want it to go if they did it?
Nope, don't care.
Really?
Because you're we're getting into like math now. It's like an integral of calculus, right? You're running out of real estate between point A and point B.
Hmm.
You're getting
Hmm.
smaller and smaller now. Like, go somewhere else. I don't need.
And
If anything, honestly, give me a Darth Vader show maybe, and show me some stuff where Hayden Christensen is Darth Vader. I don't need any more with Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan.
I'll take that. I'll take that. What I would like to see is, and I know we because, and what I would like to see is, give me Third Sister. What does she do with this new life that she's not a child killer,
Hmm.
but you are an inquisitor. You were raised as a youngling to be a Jedi. That didn't work out. You you left your inquisitor lightsaber, the red lightsaber, which we know what has to happen for you to get one of those. Hey, buddy, hold on. Hold on a second. My youngling is acting up. There we
Hmm.
go. There we go. Um, I would like to see more from her and people like her. Where did Quinlan Voss go? Because we know he survived this network, the path that they talked about. Give
Hmm.
me more about that. That's what I would like to see. Tie Obi-Wan into the path with the rebellion. How the rebellion goes from this fledgling group of senators who are working with now the remnants of the Trade Federation, who
Hmm.
are basically going to try to take out the Empire. Give me
Sure.
that show. That's why I was upset when Indira Talos character was killed. One, again, stop killing these female characters to motivate male characters. And two, show me what this path is. Where did the other Jedi go? Where did these people who worked at the Jedi like? Because keep in mind, you aren't just killing people, the Jedi. You were killing custodians. Like you're just walking into the Jedi temple and you're like, oh, you check IDs, boom, shot in the face, Order 66. You were just wiping out everybody.
Hmm.
So what happens to these people? Where do they go? How do you hide? And I think you're going to see a little bit of that from the Bad Batch, fleshed out a little bit. We're going to see a little bit of that from Andor show. I want to see more of that. Give me more Third Sister. Give me more your boy O'Shea Jackson. Where does Roken go? Um, so that's what I would like to see.
Cool. Let us know in the comments what you would like to see. But right now, we got to wrap this up. Leroy got to finish feeding that kid, and I got to go to sleep. But find us here
Sleep
on
is
YouTube.
overrated.
Okay. Find us here on YouTube at We Trying. You can also find us at Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all at We Trying Y'all. You see it right below on your screen here in the bottom left hand corner. And that is it for us. And we out.
Peace.